Hello everyone and welcome back to the garden. Now there's a real satisfaction in nurturing a plant from a tiny seedling to a thriving specimen, and transplanting is a crucial part of that journey. But like all things in the garden, it's not just about brute force, it's about understanding. Understanding the needs of your plants, the rhythm of the seasons, and giving them the best possible start in life. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, these tips will help you ensure your plants not only survive transplanting, but positively thrive in their new homes. Let's get started. Now, before we even think about picking up a trowel, we need to talk about timing. See, transplanting, it's a bit of a shock to the system for any plant. You're taking it from its cozy little world and plonking it into a whole new environment. So, choosing the right time to make that move is crucial. As a general rule of thumb, you want to transplant on a cool, cloudy day, ideally in the evening or when rain is forecast. This gives the plant a chance to settle in before the full heat of the sun beats down on it. And trust me, a little bit of cloud cover can make all the difference. Now when it comes to the time of year, well, that's where things get a bit more specific. For tender seedlings like tomatoes or cucumbers, you'll want to wait until after the last frost has passed. These delicate souls are particularly susceptible to cold damage, and a late frost can wipe them out in a heartbeat. For hardier plants like shrubs or perennials, you've got a bit more leeway. Autumn is often an ideal time to transplant these, as the soil is still warm from the summer months, but the air is cooler, which reduces stress on the plant. Plus, it gives them a good head start to establish their roots before winter sets in. But remember, there are always exceptions to the rule. Some plants, like evergreens, prefer to be moved in early spring, just as new growth is beginning to emerge. So, it's always a good idea to do your research and find out the best time to transplant your specific plants. A little bit of planning goes a long way, and once you get the hang of it, you'll be transplanting like a pro in no time. A good gardening diary is worth its weight in gold. Keep track of when you planted your seedlings, when the last frost was in your area, and any other relevant information. We work with nature, not against it. And that means taking the time to understand the needs of our plants. Right, now that we've got the timing sorted, let's get our hands dirty, shall we? Transplanting might seem daunting, but with a bit of know-how, it's a breeze. Here's my step-by-step guide to ensure your plants settle in nicely. First things first, prepare your new planting site. Clear away any weeds or debris and loosen the soil with a garden fork. You want to create a welcoming environment for those roots to spread out and explore. Next, water your seedling thoroughly in its current container. This helps to prevent root damage when you're removing it. Now, gently ease the seedling out of its pot, supporting the base of the stem with your fingers. If the roots are circling around the bottom, gently tease them out a bit. Now, dig a hole in your prepared planting site that's slightly larger than the root ball of your seedling. Place the seedling in the hole, making sure the top of the root ball is level with the surrounding soil. You don't want to bury the stem too deeply. That can lead to rot and other problems. Backfill the hole with soil, gently firming it around the roots as you go. The key here is to eliminate any air pockets, which can dry out the roots. Once the hole is filled, give the plant a good watering to help settle the soil and encourage those roots to start exploring their new home. Finally, add a layer of mulch around the base of the plant, being careful not to touch the stem. This helps to retain moisture, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature. Now keep a close eye on your newly transplanted plant, especially during the first few weeks. It's important to keep the soil consistently moist, but not waterlogged. A good soak every few days is usually sufficient, but adjust your watering schedule depending on the weather and your plant's needs. But with a little patience and care, you'll be rewarded with healthy, thriving plants. Chapter 3. Beating Transplant. Shock Top Tips for Happy Plants. Now let's talk about transplant shock. It's a common problem that can affect even the most experienced gardener. Imagine being plucked from your home, transported to a new place, and expected to carry on as if nothing happened. That's what transplant shock is like for a plant. The good news is that there are things we can do to minimize the impact and help our plants bounce back quickly. Remember how I mentioned watering the seedling thoroughly before transplanting? That's one way to combat shock. Another way is to avoid disturbing the roots as much as possible. When you're removing the plant from its container, be as gentle as you would with a newborn babe. The less stress on the roots, the better. Once the plant is in its new home, it's all about providing the right conditions for recovery. Keep the soil consistently moist, but not waterlogged. Think of it like a comforting blanket for the roots. You can also give your plants a helping hand by using a seaweed-based fertilizer. Seaweed is chock full of nutrients that can help to stimulate root growth and aid in the plant's recovery. Just dilute it according to the instructions on the bottle and apply it around the base of the plant. Another handy tip is to provide some temporary shade for your newly transplanted plant, especially if you're transplanting during a particularly sunny or hot spell. A simple piece of burlap or shade cloth will do the trick. Remember, transplant shock is a normal part of the process, but by taking these steps, you can help your plants recover quickly and thrive in their new home. Gardening is all about observation. Keep a close eye on your plants and respond to their needs. Chapter 4. The #1 transplanting mistake and how to avoid it. Now let's talk about the biggest mistake people make when transplanting. It's something I see time and time again, and it can make all the difference between a thriving plant and a struggling one. Are you ready for it? It's not hardening off your plants before you transplant them. You see, most of our seedlings, they start their lives indoors or in a greenhouse. It's a sheltered, controlled environment, a bit like a plant spa. But then we take them from this cosseted world and plonk them straight into the garden, exposed to the elements. It's a shock to the system, and it's no wonder they struggle. Hardening off is simply the process of gradually acclimating your plants to the outdoors. It's like giving them a bit of a training camp before the big game. You start by putting them outside for an hour or two each day, gradually increasing the time over a week or two. This gradual exposure to sunlight, wind, and fluctuating temperatures allows the plant to toughen up, to develop a thicker skin, quite literally. That way, when you do finally transplant them, it's not such a dramatic change. Hardening off is a simple step, but it's one that many gardeners skip, and trust me, it makes all the difference. So, do your plants a favor, and don't forget to harden them off before you transplant them, and once you see the difference it makes, you'll never go back. Chapter 5. Happy Transplanting. Well, there we have it. Everything you need to know to become a transplanting pro. Remember, it's all about understanding the needs of your plants and giving them the best possible start in their new home. From timing it right to choosing the perfect spot, from handling those roots with care to understanding the importance of hardening off, every step plays a crucial role in your plant's journey. Don't be afraid to experiment, to get your hands dirty, and to learn as you go. Every gardener has their own tips and tricks, and the best way to find what works for you is to simply get stuck in. Remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. There will be triumphs and setbacks along the way, but that's all part of the joy of it. And the more you learn, the more you'll appreciate the magic of watching a tiny seed transform into a thriving plant. And don't forget to subscribe for more gardening tips and inspiration. Happy gardening, everyone! Outgrow, grow on. So there you have it. Transplanting doesn't have to be a gamble. With a bit of care and attention to detail, you can give your plants the very best chance to thrive in their new positions. Remember, observe your plants, respond to their needs, and enjoy the journey. If you've enjoyed these tips, please do give the video a thumbs up, share it with your fellow gardeners, and subscribe to the channel for more gardening advice. Until next time, happy gardening!